Boom. All right. We can go ahead and get started.
Okay, sick.
So you said this was from when you were playing Ant yesterday?
Yeah.
Sick. So we're going to look at dash dancing and kind of in general defensive stuff. Lucas is really hard to kind of like intercept sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. And like I get caught in PK freeze all the time.
Like
Because
right there, yeah.
yeah, like he caught a lot of my jumps with it and I just don't know what to do because I feel like if I stay grounded, then like he'll still get me with it or magnet is a thing. But then if I jump, he catches my jumps. So I don't know what to do.
Yeah, oof. For the most part, PK freeze, you can CC it, but then you're committed to staying grounded a little bit. And then your out of shield is fine against it still. He's going to mainly use it as a way to approach, kind of like how Falco can, as opposed to using it as a way to like really, really bully you. Okay. So, okay, after this stock, I paused it and I'm going to talk about something. Because I do have some Lucas tips. I'm not super good at okay, perfect. So, I can't use my pen this way, but, so let's say Lucas is on the ground, right? When we're trying to think about what he can do, he's a little different than a lot of the other aggressive characters. You have Fox and Falcon, those hyper-aggressive dash dance characters. Their short hop nairs are really, really powerful. And their grabs are really, really powerful. But Lucas doesn't really have either of those to the same degree. Like, his grab is good, but if he whips it, it's a bad time. It's a little slower. And his short hop nair is okay, but it's mainly just because he's fast. So what he does is he basically sticks his hand out there. It becomes 35 different hitboxes that all are bad. And then he kind of just like hopes you ran into it, backs up to get it confirmed, and if you didn't get hit by it, he just tries again. But he doesn't really have the same angle to cover like diagonally down or diagonally upwards as easily as the Spaceys or Falcon kind of can, because they're in the air so much, right? So that's what PK Freeze is for. He's using PK Freeze to basically get you out of the air so he can use his straight horizontal magnet to pressure your shield, to convert, everything he needs.
Right.
For the most part, Olimar is a little floaty, so it's a little harder than with a fast follower, say. But if you can just get above or below his PK freeze, then you're more or less, I don't want to say you're fully set, but you can start then getting around magnet using vertical mobility. Because horizontally, especially with your Pikmin, it's going to be hard to flat out beat magnet. And the risk reward isn't necessarily in your favor, even for like a poke, depending on percent and DI and things like that. So, for example, if he's doing, that really low to the ground DJC PK freeze that's a pain to deal with.
Yeah.
If you can, I don't know if Olimar can off the top of my head. That's something we can test out a little bit later. But if you can get over that with a short hop that's perfect, or even a full hop, without Dacus at kill percent, he can't really threaten that area super well. He has to kind of like reset and try again. But by the same token, so let's say he's under the middle plat, you're under the left plat. If he freezes and you jump at him, he's kind of stuck. Like he either has to leave or he has to shield, because his up tilt isn't the best in the world at like getting him out of those situations. It's okay. His nair is also kind of okay. His up air is kind of okay for that. But with being a semi-fast faller with an explodable recovery, he doesn't want to get hit by that kind of. He can't just take those hits the same way that other floatier characters can. So, in a sense, one way to get around his offense is to introduce your own offense. Because if he's, like for example, if all the Lucas player has to do is just press buttons and pressure shield, Lucas is probably like top 2 in the game, easy. But the character has other flaws that are hard to get around that if you can exploit, you can make their offense worse because they have to play defense now, right? They can't just go whole hog on their PK freeze, their magnets, everything like that, because they also have to defend themselves in case you do something that they don't expect and you get over their PK freeze, or you wait out their magnet and you chase them as they back up. Like it's that, I think it was was it Colorado PM? There was some PM commentator I heard like months and months ago say something that I really liked, to the extent that I stole the phrase. You can't only solve your opponent's problems. You have to give them problems of their own. Because if all you're doing is going, okay, PK freeze, I shield that. Okay, magnet, I roll away from that. They don't have to play the game. Like, they're just playing training mode, right?
Yeah, oh, that makes sense.
So, like, same thing with Olimar, right? If all you're doing is Olimar is using the Pikmin in its correct way, air quotes kind of correct way, they don't have to think about what she's going to do. They just have to think about, oh, it's purple, now I shield. You know, oh, it's blue, now I be in the air. Oh, it's yellow, now I stay grounded and shield, etc. So, in a way, as you mix those up, your offense is going to get better just by default when you mix them up. Because they're going to see purple and go, oh, if I get hit, that's really bad. Or I should, get around the side B. And if the side B never comes, they kind of just sometimes will put themselves in weird positions just to get away from a move that they thought was going to happen and never did. Yeah. Excuse me. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, that all makes sense.
Sick. That's a little offense focused, but it's a little easier to see the defensive aspect of things as well if you can flip it, because offense and defense are, when you're interacting with another player, they're kind of the same thing. Because the game is fast enough to where it's not like, oh, I have gotten my knockdown. Now it is my turn. It's just like, oh, I hit them, go in. Oh, I didn't hit them, go out, etc. All right. Let's keep going to the VOD. Back throw. Then they just... Yeah. At that point, that's just going to be that rinse and repeat. That's fine. Good DI on the up air.
Know how I'm supposed to DI it? I kind of just figured.
So there's a few different things that Luke... Well, not a few different things, but Lucas up air, he basically wants that... He wants you to DI that in, so you stay in place. So then he can do his other stuff, whether that's a back air finisher, another kind of, maybe a down air for some kind of extension. The specifics of that are kind of like up to the Lucas, but up air is it's basically to catch you DIing in and avoid the, punish you for wanting to survive, because that's kind of messed up.
I also tend to DI out on a lot of stuff by default if I'm below like 80%-ish.
Yeah, that's a good habit to get into. Because for the most part, you're not going to die.
Right.
You still gained height from that. Ooh, I like swinging on the way back there. That's something else that Freeze is really, really good at. Catching that, like... the rollbacks, because the later it hits, the more time Lucas has to either Dacus or to either run up or wave dash up, magnet confirm like he did there. Oh, don't do the white Pikmin like that. White Pikmin are homies.
Yeah, I don't know. Throughout this whole netplay set, I kind of just had Bees' words ringing through my head, where I was like, "Get rid of one Pikmin at the beginning so you can keep easier track of them."
That kind of makes sense.
It was white. Specifically, like if it were blue or red, I also would have done that.
That kind of makes sense, I guess.
CP9 also told me something along the lines of like, if you have a good lineup, it's better to have fewer Pikmin that are like extraneous, because that way, your good ones are like more protected. If that makes sense.
That kind of makes sense. Like if you have, flowered yellow, you don't want 3 reds necessarily, because you can only get that flowered yellow every 4th move now.
Yeah, that's what he meant.
Dacus, yeah. So against Lucas at high percent, or at high percent, once if you get hit by Magnus, you just want to DI up for the most part. Because he can cover that, similar to Falcon, he can cover the horizontal distance actually pretty well. The thing that he's a little harder time covering is vertical. Because he can go high, but his double jump isn't like super fast with it, like the same way that like Falco is, right?
Yeah. Also, I think there's like at least 5 separate times in this set that I died because I couldn't sweet spot, which is embarrassing.
It's all good. Mistakes happen. Okay. So when Lucas is whiffing the grab there, and you rolled back to ledge, or if you spot dodge it, same kind of deal. You do have the initiative to act first because his grab is even on a roll because his grab is more end lag because of the tether. So even if you can't get a punish, you can at least get that pressure. You can start approaching. That way he can't approach you if he's having to defend himself. That kind of mentality.
Yeah, I think with the tether, I wasn't punishing it just because, like, I know there's end lag, but I wasn't entirely sure, like, how fast he was actionable after it, and I was like, oh, I don't want to take the risk of him magneting me or something.
That's fair. For the most part, Magnet's not going to be like a combo breaker kind of thing. Like, I know. I'll double check Lucas's in just a moment here. I know Ness's is frame 8. I think it's definitely not like it's definitely fast-ish, but it's not like spacey shine. Like he needs to have the space. He needs to have the setup for it. It's not really something that he can just like press. You know how spaces will do spot dodge shine. That's not really something that Lucas can do.
Oh, okay. I think that was the fear for me, is like I wasn't sure, oh, is it like a spacey thing where you can just spot dodge shine me magnet?
Not to that extent. It does reach further forward, which is useful for Lucas, but
I also have a very weird habit of like down tilting on the ground when it wouldn't have hit or anything, and I don't know why I do it.
it's probably, it might be a habit just from like, it does go kind of low, like not full Kirby low profile, but it's lower than some characters can easily hit on accident, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of fishing for a hit with it because, like, it can lead to a pretty good amount of stuff.
Yeah, especially on this weight class, on the semi-fast fallers.
Oh, yeah. Like that.
Yep. And that was a DI mix-up. Like, you hit that forward air to basically pretend that you were going to hit the up air. So you have you still have choices at that follow-up, too. It's not even just like, oh, the only thing that Olimar can get is this. Okay, this stock, try to pay attention to, like, specifically Ant's horizontal mobility. Okay, so next stock, oh, wait, you made it back. Okay.
Yeah, just barely. I think I'm dead, yeah.
Yeah, that sweet spot's going to get. So for this first stock, let's just watch how Ant moves, like, left and right. And, oh my god, same deal, basically, but...
I forgot he switched to Fox.
Gotcha. Fox is a little more vertical. In fact, pretty much all the characters are a little more vertical than Lucas. Like, Lucas has his dare, but aside from that, he can't really land on you. In that same way that, like, Fox Nair has that horizontal range that makes it easier. I like those up tilts.
Yeah, I've learned kind of recently that up tilt is super good. Because, like, I think Olimar's head has invincibility for the duration of the active frames.
It's like a legit anti-air, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good on hit, too. Oh no, the one Pikmin down
I
smash.
hate when I do the down smash and, like, my brain forgot I have one Pikmin. Also, don't DI Fox up throw, like, ever. That's an SDI thing, right?
Yeah, if you want to avoid the second hit, you want to SDI the first one. The reason you want to DI the Fox up throw anyway is so that way he has to basically run in the direction to get the up air at all, and then that gives you more information about it. Like that forces him to do specific things with his drift. Like if he has to run to the right to get the up air, well now he's drifting to the right by default when he jumps for the up air. So then if you SDI to the left, that can be a little more consistent.
Right.
Oh, did you get crit? I love crit down smash. It's so silly.
Oh, that's one thing. Can you explain to me what crit down smash is? Because I have no idea.
So basically, crit down smash is just when both Pikmin on down smash hit. It just does a lot of damage, and it can send the air. It can like look like it reverse hit, like visually.
Oh, okay, that's what that is.
The easiest way to tell is if you have red or yellow, and you have that hit effect. Let's say you have yellow Pikmin here that'll send to the left, and they get like hit with electricity, but they go to the right. That's a crit down smash because the yellow hit, and then the other one hit to the right.
Okay.
It's just more Pikmin reverse hit shenanigans.
Yeah, there's so many of those that I'm finding out about. Like that clip I had on Twitter where I still grabbed Mario after he caped me. It was really funny.
God, it's good and bad that Olimar doesn't actually like grab himself. He just tells his Pikmin to do it. Nice sweet spot.
Yeah, I finally did it. I was like, I'm dead. Oh no. Oh.
Oh, we're surviving.
I was terrified of up smash here. I was like, I know he wants to do it.
I feel you. Ooh, nice reset.
I don't know why I up smash there. I think I meant to do something else, like probably a jab.
Gotcha. Okay, so something I've noticed also is that when you get in shield, this is partially just against Fox, because Fox, trying to act out of shield against Fox is scary, but even against Lucas, same problem, but like you'll have to act out of shield eventually. You sometimes have opportunities for like nair or shield grab that you kind of just roll out of defensively instead. And it can be hard to recognize them in the moment. I'm not trying to say that, oh, you clearly should have just pressed the grab button. That's the only thing, there's no other reason to do anything else. But, like, Olimar nairs frame 3. It's actually a really significant out of shield up. Yeah, it's fast.
Oh, wow.
It has grab, I think it's frame 7 that's default. I was looking on Rukai data earlier, and I can't read it. I can't read the fancier stuff when it's because the Pikmin are the ones that grab.
Yeah, Rukai is really annoying for Olimar because I don't think they have all the Pikmin properties in there. So like, it's only really good for his tilts and dash attack.
And Nair, don't forget Nair. Nair's a good time.
And Nair, yeah.
But yeah, like Nair's a great combo move against these fast followers, and it's also a really fast out of shield that is much safer than shield grabbing, and kind of like if they jump or dash away, they get to look at you before they punish you. Whereas if they try to jump above you on Nair, they might just jump into you on accident, or they might not have a good punish ready. They might have to double jump, or they might not be able to like space it correctly to come back in with dash dancing. Like you're giving them more problems to worry about because you also have drift. When you do Nair out of shield, you have drift, you have fast fall timing, like. you have more movement options when you do that short hop than you do with just committing to the roll, spot dodge, grab, up smash, etc.
Okay. Yeah, I think I defaulted to rolling, and I do that in general a lot just because, like, I don't have confidence in other out-of-shield options because, like, yeah, all the stuff you just said now, I wasn't, like, thinking about. So I kind of just panic and go, oh, I want to get out of here, and then I just roll.
Yeah, you eventually kind of have to take a stand out of shield against these kinds of characters because even if they don't punish you for it, if they roll, they can start just running after you because they're that fast. And Olimar's up tilt and kind of jab, very kind of jab. But aside from that, you don't have like a very fast button that's just like a big no stop sign, right?
Yeah.
You don't have like it. Marth doesn't even use it very much, but like Marth jab is a good example of like if he rolls out, he has a not super slow button. He could just put a hitbox out in front of him and be like, "Hey, stop it." As Olimar, you don't really have that without getting into the air first. But once you do get into the air, because you're so floaty, that stop sign button is online for a lot longer than most characters. So like when Luigi short hops, right? You have to kind of like back up and just take a half second of like, wait, no, it's Luigi. Okay, now I go.
Yeah. I've had to learn not to overextend against Luigi and Yoshi because of the nairs.
Olimar's the same deal. Not to the same extreme quite, but it's his fair is almost better. It's like a Marth fair without the sweet spot and a little stronger. So like you if you hit that fair, just like defend yourself, whether you're drifting forwards or backwards or in place, rising, falling, etc. You get stage out of that. So that is your reward for that is getting the breathing room to then make that harder to get around. I can show you a more visual example once we get into net play, but let's go ahead and finish up this last game.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, FD.
Yeah, I hated that I got FD twice during this whole thing. Versus Lucas and Spaceys, I would never let them go to this stage in tournament.
Yeah, because the chain grab is like Pikmin specific, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah. Plus, I just hate giving long horizontal space to Lucas, and like, versus Spaceys, I guess it's not quite as egregious, but like, I just like having platforms.
Excuse me. That makes sense. Yeah, so something that some Spaceys will do to kind of contest up throw, up air, SDI is just do up throw bear, just to catch your SDI as bad DI, if that makes sense. Oh, you're living that. No, shield grab.
I was like, oh, Solimar grab. Wait, no.
I wish he had the smallest grab in the game when he had no Pikmin. Just only his hand, and then he gets like a really bad version of all of his throws.
That would make Solimar Dittos a little less painful, because you could at least grab them.
But I mean, a little, but then the follow-up is still just Nair. It's not... God. Solimar is so silly. See, so back up a second. Like that dash attack on shield is a really good example of acting out of shield a little offensively. Can you back the VOD up a little bit?
Yeah.
Go back like 15 seconds. Oh, a little more, like 5 more. Okay, so it's the in-game timer is at 6:30 something, but Ant does a dash attack, and you shield it, like right, and he's right in your face, and you kind of only end up with a late wave dash out of shield, so you lose pressure. But that was an opportunity to either, like in that case, it was a pretty egregious minus on shield move, so you probably could have shield grabbed it, but you also could have naired. Nair would have given you. I'm a big believer in Olimar Nair out of shield. So I'm a little biased, but it's frame 3. It's hard to CC shine because the hit, like it's a multi-hit. I don't know if the gaps are big enough for Spaceys to CC shine. I know it's a one-frame gap, but I don't know if they have to be. I don't know if it's possible and they have to be perfect, or if it's impossible to shine between. So that's something we can test also. But even then, like, it's good against CC. You get that knockdown, even if they're ASDIing it down, like during the end lag of something. And then that can get you your grab, that can get you your down tilt, your dash attack. Like that puts you in a really, really good position. And that's assuming they CC it. If they don't, it's even better because they can't ASDI down the dash attack or the down tilt. And you get that follow-up there. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Sick. And then Ant. Okay. Dagpo walk. Oh, okay. Here it is. Here's the lineup.
Should have just grabbed ledge. I don't know why I don't.
Yeah, it's a really, really good place to be. Even if your ledge dashes aren't super on point, like it's just a good thing to force Fox and characters like that on stage to then punish their recoveries.
Right. Yeah, I think my mentality there was, oh, but what if you just, like what if the up B goes just a little bit past the ledge and he recovers high anyway? But then I should have been like, wait, doesn't matter because then there's lag and I could have just like ledge dash grabbed or something.
Yeah, you have ledge dash grab, you have ledge hop up B. Or not, sorry. Ledge hop up B. What am I saying? Ledge hop down air. Ledge hop up B?
Up B sounds hilarious.
Ledge hop up B is definitely the sudden death kill move. Ledge hop up B. All right, let me get this buffer up to 8. And let me show you a few things I want to talk about before we get into some games. Starting at play. There we go. First thing, let's actually stick with Fox for a minute. So, talking about Fox and his edge guarding, or rather, his recovery. Blue's nice. All right, let's just go. Let's not mess with any platforms. So when Fox lands, he actually has a lot of recovery. I'm going to be holding shield here. So even if he gets barely on the lip here, you do still have all that time. So here, go ahead and try to go to ledge, and then just punish this up B as I land. For the most part, you want to either be on ledge already. Yeah, there you go. It's easier if you're already on ledge, rather than trying to intercept with down air.
Yeah.
You're good. Yep. You can also do that. If you think they're going to try to trick you with an angle, you can just kind of stay on ledge longer with like a get-up attack or something. So I think you're wave dashing actually too far. Because it seems like when you're wave dashing... Yeah, that's an option. You can just roll and then hold back.
Yeah, I forget that's a thing.
But yeah, when you're wave dashing, if the angle's too steep, then you'll go past it. Fox kind of won't, but Olimar has low enough friction to where he'll get more distance. Okay, let's try this just a few more times. You don't have to. So there you had a blue Pikmin, but remember you can still use down air with a blue Pikmin. It doesn't have to be the grab. Nice. God, that move is so weird. Why is it send there?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the most part, when you're edgeguarding a character with a up B that like hits like all Olimars or Foxes, you want to try to time your invuln to where you want to try to time your ledge grab to where you're invulnerable and can just hit them in it. That's another option, right? So like what Ant was doing where he was grabbing ledge and then just doing back air at the timing where like even at the timing where his back air will just be invincible. See, there's that little like white filter.
Right.
That means that visually there's still invincibility. Right. So this is a common way to deal with up Bs like these two characters, or even Lucas's, where they have hitboxes and they can be hard to contest, but aren't like super fast. Yep, that punished. Heck yeah, nice. All right. Something else. Let's actually talk about the offensive out of shield options too while we're here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on just real quick. Player 2 codes, infinite shield. Player 1 codes, infinite shield. Okay, so we have infinite shield now. We are powerful. I love his pose. Why is he looking like that?
Oh, yeah, it's so funny. I didn't even know he posed like that. Just like holding it out.
Yeah, just the invisible woman, just the force field in the comic. He kind of is. I don't like this. So, I think the primary thing I want you to try to kind of add to your arsenal is Nair out of shield. Because that's a really important check for like, oh, you know, I'm doing my stuff. That's a really important check for like characters that are trying to short hop or be in the air. Yep. Characters that... Yeah, and also that same kind of anti-air. Right? Where, like, I'm sure you've seen... You know how, like, Falco will, like, do that double jump right there to, like, bait you into doing something and then land on you?
There, yeah. At what point should I do Nair out of shield, then, if they're gonna go do that?
You mean this double jump?
Yeah.
Basically... If you're looking for it, you can react to it, but then you're also, like, you run the risk of it just not coming. And then you have the other fun stuff happening. The good news is you're kind of a hard target to hit. So let's say you do full hop Nair out of shield, right? Like, if I'm standing right here, I can just Nair you. But, you know, let's say... Like, it's not guaranteed that I get anything super big. Because it's just a weird situation. So if you want a timing, what you can do is... how do I visualize this? So let's say from here, right? The character has started falling.
Yeah.
This might not make sense, and let me know if it doesn't. Try to do Nair out of shield after you think they would have hit the ground. Does that kind of make sense?
After they would have hit it?
Well, so like there's a tempo to this, right? And then that's why the double jump is so good. Because it breaks that tempo. So if I'm literally only doing Nair with no fast fall, right? Then the fast fall breaks that tempo.
Yeah.
Oh no, not like this. Not how about the exhaust pipes? Also, it's a multi-hit, which makes it better on shield and CC than a lot of moves. Oh my god. He's such a small little spaceman.
Yeah.
Why does he only have eyeballs when he's in peril?
Yeah, that's a thing from the games too.
I love it.
I don't know why. And like that's not even a his species thing, because the other spacemen have eyes.
It's an Olimar original that he goes to a different planet and he pretends like it's a species thing, so he doesn't seem weird.
Yeah, just a quirky little guy.
So if you're gonna do narrative shield or an attack out of shield, wait, grab me again. I've never noticed. It's like
that's so funny. You're right up in his face, and there's just a soulless Pikmin staring at you.
Tell me the name of God, you fungal piece of shit.
Death is but a part of the state of life.
Decay exists as an extant form of life.
Yeah.
I need that on a throw pillow. So you want to do narrative shield. It's going to be a little character specific because, like, for example, Fox has shine, which he's going to do after landing a lot of the time. So if I do drill into shine, I'm very bad. Then that's very likely to catch.
Right.
We did it.
We did it.
That's a lot more likely to catch your out of shield option, and that's why his Fox pressure is so good.
Yeah.
So you do have to kind of make a call, right? There's two basic kinds of pressure. I'm not going to count multi-shines because, like, that just delays it. Oh, damn it. I was hoping that I could like get it first try. I'm awful at multi-shining with this character. 3-frame jump squat destroys me. So there's the shine into immediate aerial. Whether that's drill, nair. It's basically 2 hits back to back to like catch you moving. And then there's the shine into late aerial. And then the situation is reset, right?
Yeah.
So you are going to have to basically make a call on which of these is coming eventually. But character specific, there are different factors that can make those better or worse, right? So like, let's say I try to do a fast aerial. If I mess this up and I'm a little slow, because Fox falls so fast, I have to input the L cancel a little early. So this situation where you hit somebody out of their pressure, a fastballer out of their pressure, and they miss the tech is not all that uncommon. And then from there you can go for dash attack, tech chases. Oh my gosh, Olimar. Leg day. I got one. Let me out. I love the no. No, Blue! You killed him!
Oh, no. I do that sometimes. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pluck right here, and then he just falls off, and I'm like, oh no.
The power of death.
Yeah, I am their god.
The timing, I guess so. You are like twice their size. A lot of the timing is just this basic, like, there's going to be a gap, but where is it, right? So is it going to be this immediate, or is it going to be this delayed? Oh yeah, that's true. Your grab kind of catches that a little better than most characters.
Yeah, I couldn't ever like shield grab spacies as Wario if they're doing their pressure correctly, but I can get them as Olimar sometimes.
I'm so bad at this. I'm okay with Falco because 5 from jump squat, but because that's also what Mewtwo's is. But I cannot do this with Fox.
Fox's jump squat. I like a 4.
It's 3.
Oh gosh.
He's a fast one. Okay, but that's kind of the basics, and unfortunately you kind of just will have to make a call on that eventually. Like that's just a call that you have to make. I'm like, oh, what do I think that Ant is gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Last thing I want to talk about Fox before we move to Lucas is go ahead and go near ledge for me. You were kind of getting destroyed by this. This shine is not as good as you think it is. You can, if you CC this, you can fast fall to ledge. Might not even need to CC it. I might be thinking of I might be combining 2 terms. Let me... Actually, would you mind also going Fox, just real quick? Because I know how to do it in my hands, I just don't know the terminology for it. Sick. Okay, so to go ahead and shine me. Oh, it knocks down on him too. That's even better. Ah! Yeah, it just kills at 17. For sure, for sure. This might only be because it knocks down, actually. So you see how there are... Sometimes I'm getting hit and I'm just going to ledge.
Yeah.
That's really powerful.
That's just from crouch canceling it, or do you do another input?
You do kind of have to fast fall to ledge depending on the spacing. But the good news is, this is easier with characters that go less distance. So let me go to Olimar real quick. Sure, a little space buddy. So if you come over here and you shine me again... So that was crouch canceling. And I can pretty much just double jump to ledge. Alternatively, even when hit by it, once I get knocked off of the stage, I can just fast forward to ledge. I say just, but it's I do need a little space. Like if I'm directly at ledge, it doesn't work quite as well. My little snoot. It's a little easier in practice than in match than in practice because, like, you know when the shine is coming based on like what's happening. So like for example, if you drill me, I'm expecting the shine, and I can be ready to. I can be ready with the fast fall to ledge. I can like prep that in my hands. Because when you're getting hit by shine, you're like going down here before you move, which is like, even if I just mash jump, you can act a lot earlier than you think. So what's happening is that after you get pushed off, you're fast falling.
Right.
Which doesn't really do you any favors in this instance if you're not going to ledge. So, like for example, if I roll to ledge, I can't really do it because I'm too close. But you know, if you're a little further out, it's a lot more feasible. I say messing it up like 5 times.
Oh.
And now you're Olimar on ledge, right? You have your cheaty moves. You have your spacey ledge dash. Oh, I don't have Pikmin, do I?
Nope. No grab.
Hold my hand. Fox. It looks like he's just like reaching for something that's like the remote that's just out of reach.
He's like, yo, grab my finger.
Pull my finger.
Pull my finger.
That's also something that I mentioned, that Olimar's floatiness lets him kind of like do this short hop and then he can threaten this forward air for a while. That applies off stage too, right? So if I toss you off and you're trying to get back, I mean, I guess I didn't hit you there. You're right. How dare you? But because, like, look at just the pure air time on this run-off double jump. Like, I can go out there, press fair. Okay, not there. But, like, you can legitimately just fair twice. And still make it on stage. I missed the jump, but that was free. I'm just bad. All right.
Yeah, I get scared to go down low with him sometimes because I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna either get gimped or I'm gonna like go down too low and overshoot it and then I can't get back.
Against characters like Fox, like they can't really gimp you. Like if you get hit by their move, you go up, right? So let's say you're down here. That's fine. He's got to do the rising aerial. Ooh, nice angle. And even there, he still gets back on ledge. Like, as long as you do double jump aerial, you pretty much have time. Ooh, we got a ledge dash. Hell yeah.
If I don't have a jump, though, then I can't risk that as much.
Yeah, but most of the time when you're edge guarding, like, you knock them off stage.
Right.
That was weird. Okay.
There are times where I go for, like, a reversal off stage, where, like, they knocked me down first, and then, like, I might get it, but I'll also die in the process, because I don't have a jump.
Yeah, without a jump, it's pretty risky. There's just not a lot you can do sometimes. Okay, let's look at this boy. What are his colors?
I don't know how to play that character.
Yeah, he's a very fast one.
Yeah, I'm not a fast rushdown style player at all.
Same. So with Lucas, like if we just look at his moves, right? PK freeze is very good horizontal. He does have like full hop forward air to cover that like 45 in front of him. He does not have run up smash, unlike Fox and kind of like even Olimar can kind of do that. Oops. Oops. I'm trying to pivot up tilt. That's not super good. Or like, rather it's very hard. So until somebody's proving that they'll do it, don't worry about it for the most part. And then
really bad at pivoting still.
It's hard.
It makes me feel dumb because like I've heard that the brawl pivots are supposed to be easier than melee ones too. But I still just like I'll go for pivot grab and I just don't get it most of the time.
Oh, so what you can just press grab first. Okay, you want to move and then press grab and then move the other direction. So like if I'm going to pivot grab you, I'm going to run past you, press grab and then left. You actually get different sliding momentum based on what you do. So you can either do it by, like, let's say I'm running to the left, right? I can either do right into grab or grab and then right. And if I do grab into right, it's almost like a B reverse. Like I stop. Versus if I do right into grab, I keep sliding.
Also, kind of dumb question, because I find myself doing it by habit if I'm like moving and grabbing. You don't need to jump cancel a pivot grab, right?
Correct. Basically,
I kept doing it, and I was like, wait, I don't think that's even like a thing.
For the most part, you don't want to, just because they're really good. They're usually better than standing grabs. So, like, Lucas is actually a really good example. Here's my standing grab. This thing has a ton of recovery. That's my pivot grab. You see the snake comes back way faster. Versus if I do that, if I jump cancel it, then it's a bad time.
I know if I pivot grab because I'll like slide forward a bit.
Yeah. You'll like catch up. Okay, so what you're doing here is you're actually just dash dance grabbing.
Yeah.
What you can try is try delaying the grab press a little bit. Oh wait, no, I had it backwards. Instead of... You're pressing the grab too late, so press it a little faster. There you go. Yeah, you're going to be it's going to be very far away from you. That's especially strong with Olimar because, like, when you press the button, the Pikmin from there goes to grab. Yeah, like, look at that range. Oh, wait, that was the... Sorry. I'm trying to time it to get the range extension. How do we practice this? There you go. See, that kind of thing, in the same way that it's obnoxious to deal with Magnet, because it's kind of like, it's a hitbox with Lucas so far behind it. Pivot grabs, especially with Olimar, are the same kind of thing, right? To where they become... Hey, I don't know which red. Probably this red is grabbing, and Olimar's literally all the way over here.
Oh, that's like some Marth grab shit.
Oh yeah, this is bigger than Marth grab. Yeah.
Oh really?
Jeez. Well, Olimar's probably is because you're sliding away while the grab is not. And this is the kind of thing that Spacey players hate. This shit because they're like, oh, I'm gonna nair, right? I'm Fox. I'm nairing, and suddenly you pivot you run away pivot grab, and that happens. And like, oh, fuck. Wow, PM sucks. Crazy. Yeah, like, it's kind of a meme how much, at least some Fox players in Texas, despise this move. Or this universal thing. It's not just a move.
You have an Olimar in Texas?
Oh no, this isn't just Olimar.
Oh, okay.
We don't, or we... Not active, because we don't have anyone active in Texas, except for the DFW weeklies right now.
Speaking of which, are you going to Shipwreck 2?
I am, yeah. Going to be entering doubles and hopefully commentating.
Oh, nice. I'll definitely watch the stream. I wanted to go, but no one from CT is, so I was like, well...
Guess they're all cowards. Okay.
I think for a lot of them, it was just scrounging the money together on short notice.
That's completely understandable. I call people cowards jokingly, not seriously. Who's a good example of a pivot grab? Actually, Marth grab's already... It's too big already. I guess we can use Wario. Why not? So... Oh, cool. I forgot to actually go to FD, and it worked out fine. So we're going to turn hitboxes on. It'll look weird for Olimar, because, like, that's what they look like already. But let me go ahead and show you the comparison between grabs on Wario, because he has a more normal grab stuff. So, like, he reaches pretty far, especially for his, he's not like a super fast character, so he's basically reaching to the tips of his fingers here. Actually, let me go ahead and be right next to you. See? That's pretty far.
Yeah.
Versus... Shoot. Hold on, where's debug mode? Oops, I got roll. That's like a whole nother grab box, and he's doing it while retreating.
Jeez.
So that's why pivot grabs are so, like, valuable.
Right. Right.
Faster characters can do them just fine too. Like, let me go. Actually, wait, no, let me keep that on. Let me go. Like, Sheik does this all the time now. So, what she can do is she can basically. You notice how she gets this little, like, burst of momentum?
Yeah.
That is a different. That's basically because she's canceling dash attack into grab. It's called a boost grab. And it's a melee thing. And it's how she gets a lot of her, like. How she enforces the threat behind a lot of her, like, oh, I'm right here. I've grabbed you. You can boost.
The only character with a boost grab?
No, but she's one of the most pronounced. Like, if she doesn't, she looks like a normal grab. And then she just gets this, like, extra half step out of nowhere. And boom, she gets to play her game now. She can pivot it also. So what she can do here is let's say, you know, you're right there and I want to grab you, but I want to, well, she actually already has a left, right. Let's say I want to down throw you, but I want you to face right. You can pivot during the boost grab. Hey, Force, I am talking about boost grab. Or specifically pivot grabs, but Sheik is a really good example. Oh my god, you see that? Flubbs. You see this ridiculous... This is why people...
said I didn't start doing that until today because that's so good.
It is super good. Let's see. You're grabbing a little too late. So what's happening is you're doing your dash, like, you're grabbing late enough to where it's part of your dash. You want to grab a little bit before you turn around. So, like, move the button up a little bit. There you go. That almost grabbed me anyway. Good lord. Like, you know how you do, like, B reverse neutral B?
Yeah.
It's that exact same timing.
Okay.
So think of it like a B reverse grab. That was only just a pivot too. Olimar's grab is kind of wild. So this is something that can help a lot. Man, I'm fancy. It's a good noise. But that's something that can help a lot with, like, backing up while still maintaining a hitbox. So, like this, right? If Sheik needs to back up, she's probably going to be doing this because why not? It's very hard to punish. Because there's
huge.
It's absurd, yeah.
Like she's got another Olimar attached to her.
Yeah, there's an invisible Olimar in the code, just right here, with his eyes closed, of course, and he's just grabbing for her. But this is really important defensively because not only is it huge reward because, you know, grabs are great, you can't CC them, you can't shield them, etc. Plenty of reasons, but. It's also usually higher reward in the characters this is important against, right? So, like, if I do Falcon, they have hitboxes here. That makes sense. That's funny. So if I do Falcon, and I'm gonna nair at you all day, right? And you do a pivot grab that grabs me. What are my options? I'm not gonna I don't have a Marth there like Olimar kind of does to swing at you, right? So, like, if you need to play as Olimar, if you need to play around boost grab, then you can kind of just, like, be in the air a little more. Versus here, like, the characters that are usually faster are going to be the ones that are lower to the ground and fall faster. As a correlation. Not as a hard rule, but as a correlation. Yeah. So this is basically like, it doesn't fully solve the problem, of course, but there's kind of a problem of, oh, I want to watch out for Falcon there. Backing up is safe. But what do I do about that? I guess, you can dash dance punish it. But sometimes, there's some characters that your dash attack isn't like super good against. There are sometimes you just don't have the room, right? Like you don't have the room to like fully get out of the way of something. So the most you can kind of do is just kind of like back up, reorient yourself, shield. This lets you, like, even if you're dashing to ledge, you can still get that. Oops. Shoot. Shoot. Damn it. I can see it. I'm not going to go to debug. I don't need debug. I'm a big girl. I can do this. Damn it. Okay, I do need debug. I need it. I need it. All right, so even if you're going like to ledge, you still have this really, really relevant like threat.
Right.
Wait, I can just do this. So even without space, I'm trying to dash to ledge. So even from literally like the tip of the stage, Falcon, a character with a bad grab range for the most part, can still threaten all of this, and then getting grabs at ledge is always great. You can threaten the fast fallers by just throwing them off stage, pressing the funny buttons until they die. Let me turn this back on, or back off rather. So like, this pivot grab is really, really useful like as a preventative measure when you're not already in shield. Yeah, you see when you slide more, that's where it is. The goal is basically to get as far away. You want to get that grab box as far away from you as possible in the good sense. So the trick, if it helps, think of it this way. So you know how melee pivots work, right? Like let me turn this back on. When you dash, so I'm dashing to the left. I'm dashing to the right. I have a frame of standing. So here, if I grab, this is what melee calls a pivot grab. It is a standing grab. And here, you can take any action. You can jab. You can pivot smash, etc. But the goal during this is, to be grabbing during the first few frames of your dash. So a little bit delayed from there. Because when you dash and grab, you get your running grab, dash and grab, whatever you want to call it. You get a different grab, and that's why jump cancel grab is important. Because for most characters, you don't want the just running grab. It's either slower or laggier or like worse in some way. But for the pivot grab, what we call pivot grab is like a brawl turnaround state grab. So turnaround grab or brawl pivot is also common. Yeah, exactly. You want to basically do it in the first few frames of your dash. So that way you get that specific state of like turning around, like where you can dash attack, but you're not standing. Otherwise you'll just get standing grab. Like that. Hell yeah. Okay, I do want to kind of move on. I think I talked about this a little too long.
Okay.
Let me turn this off. Debug mode off. Wait, debug mode? Everything's off. Why is this blue? Huh. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So let's talk ways to contest horizontal pressure, right? So when the fox or the falcon is just kind of naring at you, and it's a rough time, right? It's easier for them to do this than it is for you to stop them from doing it. You have a few different options. And you also, in addition to those options as Olimar, like you always have the universal options of get out of the way, right? So if you think I'm going to nair and land right where you are right now, if you back up and you're right, I miss. And then you can use, if you're correct about that, then you have a lot easier time of like, oh, you can put a hitbox there, you can grab, especially with a turnaround grab that's really good. So if you can guess where they're going to be, or for example, if there's something in the game that makes you think that you're going to know where they'll be, like, oh, they have a purple Pikmin. I think they're going to be, if you have purple Pikmin, you might think I'm going to be outside of your purple side B range. So I'm either going to be here or coming in to approach to try to nullify that projectile because it's really good. Whereas here, I'm not really threatened by it. Whereas even a few steps forward, this is an awful place to be if you have purple for side B. Because I either have to go in or I have to go out. I can't stay here. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So a lot of the times when players are playing around something... Oh. When players are playing around something, they'll have places, ranges that they'll want to be and ranges they won't want to be. So, like, purple side B is a really easy example, especially because it's not always online, and you have a glowing antenna letting the opponent know when it's available. It's like, oh shit, purple side B. Let me back up. Oh no. Let me back up. Purple side B, let me get closer. That way you don't have the space to throw it. Ow. How could you? This is a violation of my human rights. But because of that, because of the way Olimar kind of literally telegraphs what his options are with that little antennae up there. Yeah, that one. You can use that to your advantage. So for example, like if you have yellow, I'm probably going to be more grounded. Because it's really hard to contest your aerials. Oh, purple? Okay, time to go in. Oh, shit. Yellow? Okay, great. You know, like, and it's not always a conscious thing because it's too fast and the game is too complicated. But, you know, if you have blue, oh, I'm going to be short hopping more. I'm going to be overshooting. So that way you can't just pivot grab me. If you have white, okay, cool. I'm gonna watch for that really huge horizontal move. Like, oh, you have yellow. Okay, cool, you have white. I need to be able to be ready to hit that however I can. Oh, there was a world. I'm gonna kick you in the gut. No. The small astronaut captain is going to get bodily injury. He's isn't he like 5 centimeters tall too?
Yeah, he's like, absolutely tiny. It's like I don't remember the exact scale, but I do remember like in Pikmin 3 when he picks up various stuff like bottle caps, it's significantly bigger than him.
That's really funny. The size of your thumb, roughly. Okay, yeah, teeny little dude getting hit, kneed in the face by a full-grown man. All right, but so yeah, you kind of have some defensive options when it comes to like the turnaround grab, especially with Olimar, and then the reward from that, because like I said before, a lot of the characters that's best against are the characters that die to getting grabbed. You know, you have your Spaceys, your Captain Falcon, your half Spacey child. Any character that's horizontally fast is usually good to up throw or like easier to combo. Like Zard's kind of an exception. Marth's floaty, but not really an exception to the easy the combo part. Excuse me. So it's really good reward. And that's one thing you can... That's one way you can put a threat behind your dash dancing, right? So you asked kind of, you want to talk about dash dancing and why it's kind of important? It's because it lets you change your position without really committing to anything. So, for example, with Falcon, or even with Olimar, right? If I run up Nair, short hop Nair, well, I'm giving up shield, I'm giving up my horizontal movement to commit to this Nair. Because, you know, for whatever reason, I want to do this right now. There's a lot of reasons. But that means that I can't shield, I can't grab, I can't CC. And dash dancing is a way to kind of, because the human reaction time is like a value that is not 0, this dash dance can be used for a ton of different things. So let's say, you know, I'm in shield. Oh, wait, I need to turn debug back on for that. Flare 1 base code, 2 base codes. So I'm in shield, and you think I'm going to nair out of shield. You could run up to me and then run away and run back in and like punish. Exactly. And the reason that you can do that is because dash dancing gives you complete control over your timing. So let's use a different example then. Let's say you're going to punish my nair by doing a full hop fair in place. Like you have to commit to that jump at the correct time now, right? Like there's a way for you to be wrong when it comes to the timing of your punish. Dash dance lets you kind of play by ear. Lets you go, oh, now she's missed. Oops. Oh my god. The purple's just latching on like a small orangutan child. Just
That's funny.
His eyeball's right there too.
Yeah. It's gotta hurt.
Oh, I forgot to take forever on Dolphin. The joke is not fast.
Oh no.
It doesn't crash or anything. It just takes a minute. But the dash dancing gives you basically the time to go like, oh, I want to kind of just kill time, but also be threatening. And also have my options open.
Gotcha.
And you can do it in a consistent timing. Or you could do it in different timings. So like you could do bop, 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 bop. So you kind of just go in place. Or let's say I wanted to approach you while dash dancing. If you don't move, I want to approach you, boom, boom, boom. I can get closer while still kind of being in that threatening position with my options open. Basically, dash dancing is scary because of what could be behind it. So like, out of a dash, what can you do? You can do... Dash attack is fine. Against spaces is pretty good. It's fine. You could grab. You could forward air. You could run up CC. Run up CC and run up shield are really, really good tools at low percent. Or run up CC at low percent, run up shield a lot of the time. Because, like, do you remember when I mentioned overshooting?
Yeah.
There's something you can do also called undershooting. So let's say, you know, I'm dash dancing and you're like, she's being an annoying bitch right now. I want her to stop doing that, but I want to be safe. Basically, if you... Here, don't move for a second so I can illustrate this better. If you aim for right here, you can catch me running in, but it's hard for me to... It's hard for me to, like, punish you because you didn't go very far. So if you aim for, like, forward air in place, right? Just from where you are. If I get too close, you hit me. But even if I don't, it's hard for me to punish. Like, that wasn't a true punish. And I knew where you were going to be. Like, it's really, really hard. So like you can shield behind that. That's called undershooting. So basically, like if where I am right now is the middle of my dash dance, undershooting is going not quite far enough, so that way you hit me if I go too close, but you don't like commit to close range options. Overshooting is hitting me even if I back up. That's risk. That can be risky though, because you're obviously getting closer, and you're like aiming behind them. So undershooting is this kind of like, it's basically like when you see Marth or somebody do like, oh, if you walk forward, you'll go into this fair. It's the same deal.
Yeah.
Except you can do it a little offensively. Like you can get a little ground with it. Oh, and something else that's really useful about dash dancing, if you shield, you lose all your momentum, which is phenomenal. So let's say, here, stop moving for a second so the spacing is consistent. Let's say I wanted to threaten that I'm going to run at you with an aerial. But I wanted to be safe and undershoot it like that. I can use my shield to kill my momentum, and then from neutral, do my aerial and do whatever drift I want. Versus if I try to drift backwards, hey Moto, if I try, yeah, we don't got Siffy Bees, we got big families. If I try to drift backwards from a dash forwards, I kind of can't. Like, I'm holding left as soon as I'm airborne. Versus that retreating fair. Like, even if you CC and you're correct about what I'm going to do, it becomes such a hassle of like, oh, let's go. It becomes such a hassle of like trying to actually punish it. So even if you shield this fair, cool. You were right. That's all you get. Unless you want to take more risks. So this is kind of what I had mentioned that Olimar can kind of just like fair in place, like the stop sign. And you can even use it offensively. You know, like if you want to enforce your space, you can just run up. You know, run up and then drift backwards with fair.
Yeah, I've seen Bees like fair in place a lot, so I knew it was good. I just didn't know like specifically why.
Yeah, let me turn hitboxes on for you real quick. It's a... Okay, I'm definitely pressing a button that just turns them all off or something. I don't know the... I don't know super well. Actually, let me turn regular debug on too. Sorry, I keep forgetting I should be telling you when I'm doing these things.
It's okay.
Like, this is why fair in place is really good. The Pikmin don't... Like, he doesn't get hit if you hit the Pikmin. Flubbs is quiet? Okay, let me turn, I guess, game audio, or not game, but desktop audio up. Thank you for the heads up, Moto. Omar's so cool, I wouldn't go that far. But like, when you get down to the hitboxes, this is super hard to contest when you land right afterwards, right?
Right.
It's like, what am I... You were clearly cleanly an idle there. You could have buffered shield. Like, you can dash away. That's something that actually is a... You'll see a lot of spacies do. They'll do aerial dash away. It's a kind of like to call someone out and like, oh yeah, you really thought you could punish Fox? Dash away. Dash away. No!
That was so funny.
Okay, I don't like the yellow spins. I'm going to turn that off. But that's like one way you can defend yourself, right? So like, and it works really well in your favor for the most part. Yes, we have talked about up till also, Moto. So let's say, or I'll use Lucas this time. I've been using a lot of Fox and Falcon because I'm more familiar, but let's say you're worried about, run up Magnet. That's a good trade for you. You just traded?
Yeah, I only took 2%. You took 13.
Yeah. Oh, let's also count how fast Magnet is while we're here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know when the hitboxes come out. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like frame 5, which is fast for sure, but not like spacey level. It should be 5. It is 5, yeah. So, you know, if Lucas is running up, oh my gosh, he has so much momentum. Even when he shield stops, he still has movement.
Yeah. God, he slides so far.
Okay, this is fun to this down B move. I'm kind of a fan. I get it now. But anyway, so let's say if Lucas, so what I'm doing is I'm going to full hop, and when I land, I'm going to run up and try to magnet you. If you put a fair there, you're going to get at worst a good trade with me. It's hard timing wise. Oops. It's hard timing wise, but once you can get a habit on kind of like the timing, then it becomes a lot easier. And you see how you also went over it there? Actually, this is a good example. Try to hit me through this. Yeah. Like it's not a small move.
No.
But it's big enough to do what it needs to do. Oh my gosh, that's so intoxicating. This power should not be held by mortals.
Violet is now going to be a Lucas main.
I'm awful at Lucas. Hold on, I'm cracked at Lucas.
Oh.
I'm gaming. No, I was gaming. But Lucas typically short hops you with Magnet. Okay. So let's actually try the same exercise, but with a short hop. So it'll be a little higher. So let me turn the hitboxes on. Oops, that's not a short hop at all. See, that's still way less intimidating than you would expect. Like by how big the move is and how terrifying it is to get hit by.
Yeah, it's not the whole ball.
Yeah, you can definitely like beat that with your fair, and you've already shown it. So I'm gonna full hop, and then I'm gonna run into short hop Magnet. You were just a little early there. Yep. That's another aspect that we can that you can use like offensively, is that timing. So there you hit him before Magnet even came out, which is perfect. That's exactly what you want, because he has to hold down to do it. So he gets in pain. I want to hit that Pigman. Feed me, Pigman. No, with side B, I mean. Feed me, Pigman. No! Oh. Into the blender. Fuck. It latches and just immediately goes away. Okay, did you know this has a win box?
It does? Oh. Jeez. That's funny. Never seen a Lucas use it, I don't think. But...
It's not super fast. Like, Ivy's is super fast, which makes it very fun.
Oh yeah, Makoshi's got me with that.
So, something Lucas will also do thank you for the reminder in chat for us, is that he won't, like, obviously, like, approaching Magnet, great, that's what they want to do. But they can also kind of just dash dance and wait for you to whiff that, and then go in, and because this sends behind them, if they wave dash back, it's just very safe if they do a good wave dash. So, like, if that misses, right, it's just kind of like, you kind of got to just take stage and reset, because it's just, you can't chase that.
That's what Shadowhawk does a lot. Magnet and wave dash back.
Ah, bad. Oh god, this is so cursed. This screen with hitboxes. Why do they have hitboxes on the screen? They should be invincible.
Look like a bunch of jelly beans.
That's what he already looks like.
Yeah.
His nose is literally just an Easter egg. Yeah, that kind of... Lucas has to play that horizontal game with you. So, with the introduction of, like, the turnaround grabs, dash dancing as, like, a tool to bait something out, it's hard against Lucas, but against the rest of the aggressive characters, it's a lot easier to, like, bait out a shuffle aerial, bait out some kind of approach, get that turnaround grab, or just hit them out of it directly. Like, you can really hold your ground with that forward air if you have a call out on the timing. And if you don't, it's still hard to punish if you drift back. Like, maybe not quite as hard as it is to punish Lucas's Magnet if he misses and wave dashes back, but, like, it's the same problem of, like, I don't care how good Wolf is, he doesn't have, like, a tool for the situation of, like, if you fade back fair, it's not like even Flash, he's not going to be able to, like, get that. And that's not remotely a feasible thing. The most you can do is try to just time it to where, like, he's calling out your short hop timing and then just running in. Right? Like, that's just kind of using run speed. That's not even, like, something that he's going to be able to really, like... That's something that you also can mix up. Like, he's engaging with you at that point. I'm like, oh, what's the timing of her jump? What's the timing of... Oh, I got grounded. Let's go. Ah, that forward air is slow. Oh, no. So, once you have these tools... Let's go!
Take that.
Once you have these tools, like, for example, the non-purple turnaround grab, right? If you're like, oh no, Wolf has been just running at me and calling out my short hops a lot, whether it's up air, shine, whatever, then, oh shit, all of a sudden, I'm dead. Because on paper, like, every space he knows not to go to, like, if you roll to the ledge here, right?
Yeah.
I just do it real quick for the spacing. No space is gonna, like, do anything shield grabbable right here, right? But when the grab goes this far with the Olimar turnaround grab, it's like, you can't just avoid that entire part of the stage. Oh, I had to shorten too and everything. No! So yeah, that's pretty much how to, like, defend yourself in neutral with the tools that Olimar kind of has. You also have your more aggressive options, right? So if you think I'm going to come in with a Nair, with this multi-hit, yep, you can just put a hitbox there. Whether that's your Nair, a forward air, dash attack is a good one. So if you think, actually, let me go to a different stage for this. Just so that way we have a plot to talk about for spacing. So if you think I'm going to land under the right plat, you could either try to turn around, grab me, or you could just, like, hit me first, right? You could dash attack at me. Oh yeah, and then of course you have up tilt, right? If you want to hold your ground against a shuffle approach, up tilt's great. Let's go. This character's fun. If I had to play a fast faller, I would probably play Wolf. This dude's rad.
Yeah.
It was way too far. But, so, like, you have these different tools. If you want to stay in place, you have, like, Nair, Fair, Up Tilt, and Shield, too. Like, sometimes shielding isn't... You don't want to have to do it, but sometimes it's not the end of the world if you do have to. Because, like, Nair out of Shield is a big threat. Those grabs out of Shield can catch dash back really well. So if I'm trying to bait something out of your shield, and you try to grab me... It's hard because of all the active frames. And now I'm a spacey getting grabbed. It's a bad time. Ah! No! It was right there. So between all of these things, and then you still have your tools to get out of shield, like neutral air. Ah! Neutral out of shield's like a really, really good check for how fast it is. Shit. I was way lower than I thought I was. Holy moly. So yeah, I think that's about that's about it on how you're going to be able to defend yourself against these faster, more aggressive characters. And the good news is, once you start hitting people with this, like especially not even Spaceys, particularly Fox players, once you pivot grab a Fox and throw them off stage at 0 and kill them for it, they definitely change the way that they approach you out of just spite. So that gives you a lot more freedom. Like, your other stuff is more effective when they're worried about the turnaround grab, right? Shield is better when they're worried about Nair out of shield, etc. Did you have any other questions before we wrapped up?
Nope, that's all it.
Okay, sick. Thank y'all for hanging out in chat and or watching on YouTube. I'll catch y'all later. Cut the VOD here.